What's up, guys? You know who it is. Marcus J. Jackson with another Live Life episode for you. Twin flames. We're going to be talking about twin flames tonight. What is a 10? What is a twin flame? Okay? What is a twin flame? What is a twin flame? Okay? Got a question yesterday, last night as a matter of fact. I also had a couple of questions about the soulmate video I did yesterday. So if you did not get the chance to check that out, please check it out. Very good information. You might want to take this time and get some pen and paper out so you can recognize your twin flame when you see it, all right? Or when you see them, not it, them. So definitely every night I'm on 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. Well, yeah, 12 a.m. to 1 a.m. doing a video, basically, just to bring attention to suicide awareness and suicide prevention. September is Suicide Prevention and Awareness Month, okay? So I started the Live Life series in order, and just for that particular reason, because a buddy of mine committed suicide. He was an Army veteran. And it's just one of those things that it's something that's very near and dear to me. All my brothers in arms. I'm also a former police officer. And, you know, being a veteran and being in law enforcement, you grow a very, very strong bond with those who share that same experience, okay? So if you clicked on this video and suicide is something that you are struggling with, if you are in danger of hurting yourself or someone else, please hop off the video and call 911, all right? Because we want you to get help, right? We want you to get help immediately, all right? So as soon as possible, you know, somebody will be out to help you. Get somebody out there that can help you through that immediately, all right? The Suicide Prevention Lifeline, let me go ahead and put that up for you real quick, is 1-800, paste, 273-8255, or simply 1-800-273-TALK, okay? SuicidePreventionLifeline.org is the live chat line. That's available. I just put it in the comments. So if you want to reach out to them, those are the experts. They can help you with suicide prevention and awareness resources also. So they are definitely there. Like I said, they are the experts. So they can help you out also. If you want to speak to me afterwards, my contact number is 469-626-7486. 626-7486, area code 469. All right. I am available. I'll be available tonight until 2 a.m. And if you catch me at 2 a.m., and I will talk to you as long as I possibly can until I fall asleep, that is. Or until you fall asleep, however it turns out. I talked to a young man for about 4 hours, so about 6 o'clock in the morning. And of course, you know, I was tired, and I know he was probably tired as well, but it was really good conversation. And I feel like if I can sacrifice a couple of hours of sleep, you know, to possibly help somebody stay on this side of life, as opposed to transitioning to the other side of life, you know, I feel like it's worth it. Okay. I think it's more than worth it. All right. So definitely, if you are on the fence about suicide, or you are a survivor of someone who decided to take their own life, you know, this video is for you. Please feel free to share it. All right. So tonight we're going to be talking about twin flames. All right. So let's just take a moment and bring ourselves to the present moment. Let's not be for just this 45 minutes to an hour. Let's not worry about anything, okay? Let's not be depressed, all right? We're not going to be stuck in the past, all right? So no depression. This is a no depression zone, all right? We're not going to be anxious, so no anxiety. for this 45 minutes to an hour. This is a no anxiety zone, all right? This is a full body, mind, and spirit presentness, if that's a word, right here, right now, okay? So let's just take a deep breath and bring ourselves back to our body, bring our minds back to our body, and just relax and be in this moment, all right? Take a deep breath. We're doing the diaphragmatic breathing, allowing the belly to completely fill with air, right? And exhale, right? We're going to do that 3 times. All right, here we go. Number 1. I'm all congested. All right, one more time. Deep breath again. One more time. Take a deep breath. Wow. All right. Okay. So hopefully got some oxygen flowing to the brain, got some air filled up in the lungs, so our mind is sharp. So we will be able to accept what is being said tonight. If not, we can pass it on and hopefully help someone else, okay? So a lot of times, like I talked about last night, is a lot of times people will decide to take their own life because of a breakup or because of, you know, that dream person, they've been rejected, the feeling of rejection, whether it be their spouse, in a divorce, or whether it be the longtime girlfriend or a longtime boyfriend who you felt like was your soulmate, right? So tonight, you know, we're going to talk about what is a twin flame. And basically the same thing applies. And once you're able to recognize your twin flame, right, and maybe it'll help you make a better decision on, you know, how to choose a mate, right? Or how to choose someone that you want to be with that may be right there under your nose and you don't really realize it. So maybe after this video, you know, suicide will no longer be a alternative or an option because you're in the dark about who your ideal person is, or who your soulmate is, or who your twin flame is, or who is the person you're supposed to bond with here while you experience life in the body, okay? Another idea I would like you to consider is that you chose to come down and experience life in the body, all right? This is what you signed up for. You signed up to have an experience in the human body, right? So live life. Live this life to the fullest, okay? Experience it, all right? It's not going to be easy, all right? It wasn't an easy decision for you to come down and sign up for everything that you went through or everything that you've gone through thus far, okay? So wherever you are in life, just come to terms with where you are. Accept the fact that, hey, this is where I am. I can only get better, all right? You know, it doesn't matter if you are having a rough time, rough challenges in life now, or everything is smooth sailing for you. I mean, things could always be better. You can always be in a better position. You can always get, you know, you can always learn more. You can always grow. Okay. So, you know, because those of us that say we got it all figured out are eventually going to run into something that we do not know. Okay. So the day that you stop learning is the day that you start to die. All right. So take this time to go ahead and grab you some tea. Right. Bam. I got rocking my white Buddha cup tonight. Plow. All right. And I got me some dandelion root tea. Excellent for decreasing inflammation. That is what you want. All right. Let's jump into it. So I wrote down 3 different ways that you can basically identify how you can identify your twin flame, right? But first, what is a twin flame? All right, let me put that in the comments real quick, so that way I'll give you Lord Google's definition of what a twin flame is. All right, so put that in the comments. And okay, all right, bam, there it is. Okay, so a twin flame or twin soul is a person who you are destined to feel connected to on a physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual level. Your twin flame represents your friend, lover, and teacher in this life. He or she is the catalyst of your spiritual growth and the mirror of your deepest desires, needs, and fears. That was deep. Just the definition alone is like, ooh, it sparks some curiosity, if you will. Okay. So twin flame. What is a twin flame? We just read the definition. That's the catalyst of your spiritual growth and the mirror of your deepest desires, needs, and fears. I mean, wow. That's big. That's really big. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go back from yesterday's video and put the Lord Google definition of a soulmate. All right, but so here's a couple things that a few things that I wrote down about what a twin flame is. All right, so or basically how to identify the twin flame. All right, I just define what a twin flame is. So here is what you are looking for in identifying your twin flame, right? Or how you know that you are going to meet your twin flame. Like, how are you going to run into your twin flame? Like, what happens in you to make you say, all right, my twin flame is on the way, right? Self-love would be number one, right? Self-love and self-care. When you start coming into the knowledge of self, right? You begin to detach from the cookie cut belief systems that are out there that are no longer serving you. Like you've gone to these religious organizations or this organized religion for so long, and you subscribe to that way of life, and you subscribe to everybody's so-called opinion about how you should live your life and what you should do. And when you start to detach from that and you really focus on self, focus on the things that you want to do and how you can get closer to the inner self. All right, because nowadays seeking the inner self is the new sexy. Let me be the first to let you in on that. Okay. Seeking the inner self, seeking knowledge of self is the new sexy, right? Because the cookie cut female with the big boobs and the big booty they'll always be there, but it's going to be very rare that you find someone who is connected to their inner self. Okay, so why not have the big booty and the big boobs and the connection with the mind? Okay, the combination of that is like, come on, really? So, if you have all the physical locked down, right? You got that on lock. So now let's bring the mental on lock. Okay, so if you are doing things to bring awareness and knowledge to your inner self, like meditating, like journaling, okay, like doing things, spending time with yourself, like taking walks in the park, right? Because that aloneness, that what I like to call that chaos, where everything is going through your head and your mind is clearing of all the clutter, right? In between the clearing of the clutter and that walk in the park, that cleansing feeling that you have after you've meditated, or after you've taken a meditation bath or a meditation shower, that in between that euphoric feeling that you have is where you find you, right? The essence of you is right there in that chaos. And that's where you will find, those deepest desires, those deepest needs and fears are right inside that space. Okay. But if you never take time for yourself, and you never, you never meditate, or you never take a walk in the park, or you never spend any time with you, then that's going to become a challenge. All right. And you identifying your twin flame is going to be an issue. Right. It's going to take you a little longer to identify your twin flame, because you don't know who you are. Right. It's just like when we go into relationships, or we come out of a relationship and we're looking for this ideal person, right? But our cup is half full, right? And then when we meet someone, their cup is half full. Because remember, we only attract the energy that we put out, okay? So if your cup is half full, you're only going to attract someone whose cup is half full, all right? And two halves in relationships don't make a whole. Right? I know, two halves in mathematics makes a whole, but two halves in relationships do not make a whole. In relationships, both cups have to be full. Okay? So therefore, we're not codependent upon each other for emotional, we're not dependent on that person for our validations of our emotions, validation of our self-esteem, validation of love, right? Because we love ourselves. We're confident in ourselves, right? We know our inner self. So we don't need to be codependent, with someone, and we're trying to hold their emotions together. And, I'm trying to hold my emotions together, because we both have two half full cups. Okay. And a lot of times we bring that baggage, or that excess baggage, to a relationship that would probably work out grand, but it's difficult, because you are only going to attract what you are. So if you are a person with a half full cup, then you're going to attract half full cup people. All right. So keep that in mind. All right. So self-love is very, very important. Take care of yourself, take pamper days, right? And spend time with yourself. And then another thing I want you to remember, if you cannot spend time with yourself, right? Maybe 5 to 10 minutes doing something for yourself, it's going to be kind of difficult to find someone that wants to spend time with you, right? And you don't even want to be with yourself for 3 to 5 minutes to do a meditation. Or you can't even take the time to run yourself a bath, to take a meditation bath, get you some Epsom salt, get you some lavender, you know what I'm saying? Get some stuff in there, get you some essential oils, drop them off in there. I'm giving you a recipe. I'm giving you the spell casting skills, right? That's the recipe to cast a spell on yourself. All right. Yes. So self-love, right, is one of the number one keys that you have to, one of the prerequisites that you have to take in order to graduate to the twin flame. All right. Get this fan going right quick. A little hot up in here. Okay. So self-love, everybody take a quick break and sip your tea. Ooh-wee. Boy, that dandelion root tea is so bitter, but it's so good for you. You get some of that, sleep like a baby. Sleep like a baby. You hear me? Oh, shoot. Drop my darn tag off of that. Okay, there we go. So, self-love, very, very important, very key. Transparency is going to be number 2, all right? Transparency. A lot of times because self-love, we lack self-love. We fail to be transparent, right? It's not that we fail to be transparent. It's difficult for us to be transparent because like we're still hiding things, right? And somebody that's your twin flame is your exact mirror image, okay? And probably the reason why your twin flame is you're unable to identify them because you aren't transparent enough, right? You want to allow yourself to be vulnerable. You still want to hold on to secrets. You want to keep secrets. You want to keep certain things, from this person, or you want to just withhold information about yourself, right? In hopes that the question will never come up. But when you realize because you're holding back is the reason why, this person isn't giving their all as well. Because believe it or not, we can sense when, if we really focus and we concentrate on our intuition, right? We can really just about tell when you're lying about something or when you're holding something back, or, eventually the truth comes out eventually. So, just be transparent. I call it the air relationship. And the air relationship is, I got, hey, what's going on, Sharkhandria? And shout out to Tino, right? Okay. Good morning, Miss Rhonda. Good morning, Monica. All right. Got a few people on there. I guess they came and went. Thank you for popping in and popping out. So being transparent, I call it the air. It's like the air relationship, that fresh air relationship, because, when you breathe in that fresh air, you get that pure, right? That pure, refreshing feeling, right? Because like you don't have nothing to hide. You're just out there and it's nothing but you and air, right? That's the person you are when you are trying to identify with self, right? That person that's walking in the park, talking to yourself, trying to reason with yourself, trying to figure out, hey, why did you make this decision? You could have did this and you could have did that. That person, right? That person is what the twin flame wants to see, right? That's what you want to be able to completely be yourself, right? And that person you can do that with is the exact mirror, right? It's the exact mirror of you, literally, right? So the soulmate is like the perfect match for you, right? It's the perfect match. But the twin flame is the spitting image of you, right? It's you all the way around, physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, the whole nine, right there. It's like you are, when you look at each other, I'm not the physical. That's not what I mean. The physical, like physically, you have on the physical level, you have a lot of things in common, and everything just matches all the way around. Like you're the mirror image of each other, right? And mentally, you're into the same things. You eat the same foods. You listen to the same music. You read the same books. You go to the same places to hang out. You like the same sports. You like the same colors. You like the same days of the week. Everything is literally the same, right? So that's what the twin flame is literally a mirror of you, versus the soulmate, which is the perfect match per se, right? So not to downplay either one of them, but just kind of clarifying what they mean. So with that being said, being vulnerable, being transparent is that fresh air relationship, right? You can take a deep breath and you just like, it's relieving to be around this person because you can be you. You can do and you can say, you can talk to yourself, you can fart, you can do everything around this person, like, because they are the mirror image of you. They're not image per se, but they're your exact mirror. Okay, so every desire. There's no secrets. They know everything about you. Every little thing about you, they know. They know your hang-ups. They know your quirks. They know what happened to you when you were a child. Everything. Okay, that's what the twin flame is, right? So that's how you identify. And a lot of times, because of our past experiences, we will not allow ourselves to be vulnerable enough to be transparent with each other, right? So if you continue to be that way, right, and you're looking for that ideal relationship, keep in mind, like I said earlier, the energy that you put out is going to be the energy that you get back, okay? So if you're holding back and you're not being transparent, you won't allow yourself to be vulnerable. Don't expect them to reflect that, all right? Don't expect them to be vulnerable, transparent, and be forthcoming with you, because they're not going to, all right? So don't, later on down the line, don't be all surprised and shocked when you found out that they were holding back on information and they didn't quite let you know the whole truth because you weren't doing it, right? Okay? So just keep in mind that you got to be transparent, right? And you're looking for transparency in your twin flame, all right? So number 3, and I got 2 bonuses I'm gonna throw in there too. So number 3 is no settling, right? You have got to the point in life where there's no more settling for you, right? You're not just settling for anybody, because you've come into the knowledge of self, because you are transparent, right? You no longer need to settle for just a warm body, right? You're looking for compatibility. You're looking for someone to support you. You're looking for someone to be you're looking for someone to be your twin flame. You're looking for someone to be there, right? Someone who wants to, you want a commitment from this person, right? You want to be supported. You want this person to support your dreams and your financial decisions and your goals in life, right? That's what ultimately that's what you want, because you've been settling for this guy who isn't quite what you're looking for, but he'll do, right? Well, he's not what I'm looking for, but he's nice. He treats me okay, but he's not the right one, but he treats me okay. He's handsome, but he's not too smart. So, he's okay, right? So you go through all these different types of relationships that you settled for, right? There's no judgment here, because with those experiences, you've learned to this point that you are no longer going to settle for that. So those things did have a purpose. So it's hard to really judge and say, oh, I made a dumb decision, or, I really messed up when I dated this guy, or I really messed up when I dated that guy. You learn from that. Okay, so those were valuable lessons that you're going to take into your ideal relationship and really, really make it flourish, right? Because your cup is going to be full, okay? And his cup is going to be full, because now you're operating on the same frequency, the same energy, and the same vibration, all right? Because both of your cups are full, and now from learning all those other negative experiences, you have brought them, you've dealt with them, you've healed from them, and you learned from them, and now you are ready, to support the twin flame 110%, right? You're ready to look in the mirror and see your reflection, if you will, okay? So definitely, if you reach a point to where you're not settling, trust me, your twin flame is on the way. All right, I can almost guarantee it, because this is believe it or not, the state of enlightenment is our natural state, right? Our this lower vibrational emotions that we have, or feelings that we have, operating in guilt and shame and fear and all that, operating in that is not natural for us, right? it's natural to feel those emotions, but to operate on a day-to-day basis in those emotions is not normal. Our natural state is to vibrate higher, is to register on a higher frequency, right? Is to focus our energy into things that are positive and things that serve us. That is our natural state. Okay? That's how we function. That's what we do. Okay? So we operate in love and in joy and in forgiveness. That's what we operate in on a daily basis, right? That's where we're supposed to be. So enlightenment is natural. Okay, so don't a lot of people say, oh, well, you're not in the conscious community, or you're not conscious if you don't do this, or you're not conscious if you don't do that. So a lot of people try to downplay those who are enlightened because they don't subscribe to the collective conscious. It appears that they're doing their own thing, which they're not. They're just at a point to where they used to be in the first place, right? But because we're operating, so many of us are operating on such a low vibration, it's kind of difficult to understand. But at some point, those that are vibrating on a lower level will eventually make it to that point. They'll come to the knowledge of enlightenment at some point in time. Okay, so definitely, if you are at the point where you no longer want to settle, your twin flame is on the way. Okay, so here's my 2 bonus that I'm gonna throw in there, right? Because I know I said I was initially going to do 3, and I'm not gonna hold you too long tonight, but I want to make sure I touch on these, right? If you're operating in love, okay, or when you start to operate in love, okay, and what I mean by that is when you start to operate in love, then you will be able to identify your twin flame, right? And that means that this love is not physical. This love is not material. This love is a love that just is, right? Just like I talked about last night, it's effort. It's effortless, right? It's just simply what is. Like, that's the kind of love that I'm talking about. So when you operate in that kind of love, and you find yourself doing things for this person that is, it's not for you per se, but you're doing it for them out of love, okay? And when you do things for people out of love, there's no thinking about it. There's no, what am I going to get? Are they going to do something for me if, I do something for them? Well, are they going to pay this bill? Well, if they don't pay this bill, I'm not paying this bill. We'll just lose the whole house. It's not material at all. It is, you operate in love because they're operating in love with you. Remember, goes back to the basic fundamental, the fundamental knowing of you can only receive what you put out. The brain is an organ in the body that can only receive the frequency in which it is putting out. It is a scientific fact. It is a biological fact. It is a universal fact. Okay, you can only attract what you are. So keep that in mind when you start to when you operate in love. Okay, this person, they exist simply because you do. All right, their focus is you. They, like I said last night, they plan with you in mind, right? There is no without you. All right, and it's just, you are a part of them, so they automatically do for you, and you do for them. It's not something that you have to think about, right? It's something that comes effortlessly, and you find yourself, like I said, making plans with them. You're every day, you're thinking about them. because you are operating in love with them. Not, ooh, I'm in love with this guy, or ooh, I'm in love. Not a great affection for, I really love chocolate cake, or I really love my dog. It's on a much, much higher vibration than that. Excuse me. It's on a completely different dimension, right? A completely different paradigm when you operate with someone in love, because there is no physical and material don't even exist when it comes to this particular person. All right, there is no other way except the way for you and that person to simply exist. There is no other way. Okay, so keep that in mind when you are trying to identify your twin flame. Okay, keep that in mind. That's a really, really big thing, is that you operate in love. Like, you do things because it's for the love of the person, the love of the relationship. Not that you're sacrificing anything. You're not sacrificing your mental state. You're not sacrificing yourself physically or anything like that. It is a love that is unmatched by anything or anyone else. Okay? That is the best way. It is so euphoric that I can't even explain it with words. But for those of you who have found your soulmate and or twin flame, you know what I'm talking about. That's the deep kind of love that I'm speaking about. Okay, so and you get that, you understand that when you are operating in love, because they're operating on the frequency of love as well, and there is no ego involved in that. I think that's a better way to put it. There's no ego involved in it. Okay, so now here's the big kicker, right? The last one, and I want to save this for last because I know this is going to be like, this is going to throw a curveball into it, right? So, because this person is the mirror image of you, they will sometimes find it very, very difficult to believe that you exist, right? It's almost impossible to find your exact mirror, all right, of someone, especially if it's a male and female energy, right? It is almost unbelievable that a male energy finds a female energy that is the spitting image of each other. Two spirits that are exactly the same, right? Two spirits that are exactly the same. That's very, very rare. So you will have one spirit that is in disbelief that you exist. Okay, so for a time there may be some friction there, right? Because you know how sometimes if you have you got a live wire. Anybody that knows anything about electricity, you got a live wire here and a live wire there, and once you bring them together, it's going to be sparks and all kind of good stuff. But once you get them connected, the energy's flowing smooth, right? No more sparks or nothing like that, right? The energy's just flowing smooth. It's no longer dangerous. But when you're holding the lines separately and the electricity's flowing through them, it's like it's almost like a struggle trying to even hold them, right? But once you get them connected together, bam, right? It's there. But you will have a runner per se, someone who kind of dodges the relationship, not because they don't want to be in it, or it's just disbelief, right? They're just operating in disbelief, just like, this is unreal, that I actually have someone who is literally the spitting image, spiritually of me, like the spiritual image of you. That's you. That's what the difficulty is. All right. So sometimes they're going to run away from the relationship and they'll come back, and you may even move on into another relationship, but you'll come back because you are the same, right? Both spirits are exactly the same. So that is how you identify your twin flame, right? And I know it's kind of like, oh wow, that was a big curveball, but that is how it happens, right? That is simply just the way that it is. Very rare, in my experience, from those people, talking to those people that have found their twin flame, very rare that they end up happily ever after, right? There's always there's a little bit of friction going on, Now it's I would say maybe 60-70% of them end up together, but during that time, there is there's some friction there, right? You do have one who operates in disbelief that it's there, but make no mistake, they do love you. They will drop anything for you. Doesn't matter if you're married or not. Doesn't matter if they're married or not. Like, they still hold you near and dear to their heart, and you will always have a space in their life, in their heart. That's just the way that it is. Let me go to my comments real quick because I think I got one. Shalkandria says, that's the hard part of the twin flame journey. Yep, that is. That's the hard part. Accepting the fact that there is someone, it's one of the two of you is dodging the relationship because you're operating in disbelief, right? And I know it's difficult. It really is, because it's our society has grown so weak mentally. Like, we're very, very weak minded. So when it comes to the collective conscious, like, we easily jump on board to what the collective thought is, right? And not a lot of people are able to think independently, right? And I'm not trying to be derogatory, but that's just a fact. That's a fact. There's not a lot of people who engage in independent thought. So when you engage in independent thought, it seems foreign or unreal. So no wonder when you meet this twin flame, right, on the twin flame journey, as Shalkandria said, there is some disbelief, because it's really hard to believe that anybody would even treat you right, based on the experiences that you've had. Okay, so, but at the same time, you have to be able to understand that this is a person who understands your deepest desires and your deepest fears. Okay, so exercising some patience is going to be key in dealing on the twin flame journey. All right, so that's what I wanted to share with you guys tonight. And I just don't want you to think that because you were in a relationship and it didn't work out, and you suffered this great rejection or this great disappointment because you thought you were in a relationship with your soulmate or twin flame and it didn't work out, right? You're gonna have some rocky moments, even with your soulmate. Everything isn't hunky-dory, right? But this person, regardless of what goes on, is your perfect match when you're dealing with your soulmate. When you're dealing with your twin flame, you're literally dealing with the same spirit as you. You are identical spirits. Okay, and the same fears that you have are the same fears that they have, right? So because of that, there's a little bit of friction before the connection actually happens. Okay, so don't get so discouraged and disappointed that suicide becomes the alternative, right? Or you feel like suicide is the only option because the relationship didn't work out the way you wanted it to. Okay. Relationships, no matter what kind they are, take time. They take patience to build, especially if you yourself have not healed from a previous relationship and you're going into another relationship with a half full cup. That is the biggest thing that I want you to take away from this little discussion. is that you have to be whole. You gotta get yourself whole first. You have to repair you first before you can give yourself to someone else and expect them to reciprocate those things that you're looking for, right? You have to do that. In relationships, the rule of two halves make a whole does not apply. You both have to be whole going into the relationship, because we see now how being codependent on each other has failed us tremendously. Year after year, time after time, boyfriend after boyfriend, girlfriend after girlfriend. You know, for some of us, wife after wife, husband after husband. You know, because we're dependent. We were never whole in these relationships in the first place, right? So we first have to learn how to make ourselves happy, you know, before we can make somebody else happy. You know, and that's just a universal fact. It's not anything that you can do about that. There's no way to get around it. You know, that's just the way it is. You have to go through it. You have to experience, and you have to evolve. Okay, guys? Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to cut it here. I told you I wasn't going to keep you long. It's just 46 minutes, which is not bad. So that's it. You know, if you guys want to talk more, please feel free to give me a call at 469-626-7486. I will be up until 2 a.m. If I don't get any calls, I am going to bed. Okay. If you want to call me during the day, that's fine. Just keep in mind I am a realtor, and I'm also a life coach, so I'm on the phone with somebody anyway. So leave me a message, or shoot me a text message. I will be glad to return your call. Right? And once again, if you're in danger of hurting yourself or someone else, please call 911 to get you some help immediately. All right? If you need someone to talk to, you need to talk to an expert. The Suicide Prevention Lifeline is 1-800-273-TALK, right? And 1-800-273-8255 is the numbers for TALK, 8255. All right? Y'all take it easy. Try not to do too much. Peace.